All right, everybody, and welcome to the Nintendo Pulse podcast, episode number 44. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison, and joining me, Steven Munn. Steven, how the hell are you?
Good, Lloyd. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. I'm doing really, really good. My Winnipeg Jets just won a huge game, and I missed most of the third period, but ended the Touch of Gaming podcast just in time to catch the last minute and then a big overtime win. I love hockey, and this was such a great way to pump me up for this show.
Thanks for clarifying that was hockey, because I knew it was something I didn't give a crap about.
Which obscure Japanese RPG are you playing, Lloyd? I don't. It does not make sense to me. Yes, yeah. That's what it is. So things are good with you. It's been a week since we last talked. Do you know what's weird, Steven?
That this is the first time that we've done two shows in a row a week apart since last time you had Edgar on here.
Well, that's one thing that's weird, but in reality, Edgar and I never did any shows 2 weeks back to back. Very rarely. It was a very rare thing.
I was thinking about that. That was probably quite a while before.
No, it's this is like an actual podcast episode where we're not making up news items to be more than what they are. We actually have lots of stuff to talk about.
We do. That's because there was a Nintendo Direct yesterday.
Exactly. Jay Carguth in the chat room says it's the first time since the Famicom that we've done two shows back to back. So thanks, Jay Carguth.
Speaking of which, I actually happen to have a Famicom game right here.
Ah, cool. What is it? I can't read it.
This is Castlevania 3.
Oh, there it is.
The Famicom version of Castlevania 3.
All sorts of characters that I can't read.
Yeah, you can't read that?
No, surprisingly enough, I don't read any sort of kanji at all. Oh. At all. So if I got a Japanese symbol tattooed on my arm and the guy at the tattoo shop told me that it was one thing, it probably would mean something else because I know nothing about that.
White devil. It's missing.
Yeah. Or this guy's an idiot for giving me his money would probably be what it is. So yeah, but that's cool. I don't have any Famicom games. I'm jealous.
Yeah, this is my first.
Nice. Well, look at you being Mr. Collector Dude.
Yeah.
I bow before your collecting greatness.
Oh, thanks. Finally, I win something.
Awesome. Actually, talking about winning, this tweet actually won the internet. So remember last week we were talking about Rayman, and we talked about how the PS4 would have Rayman, and they try to do something to make it look better. And we said, hey, there'd be like Rayman would have sweat, and he'd have sweat dripping from him, and you'd be able to see each individual bead of sweat. Well, tweets by the Tony Sadowski basically quoted that in a tweet, and then he did a hash sign teraflop sweat, which is wins all sorts of things because flop sweat is cool. It's a funny thing. And also, though everybody keeps talking about the PlayStation 4 and how they kept saying teraflops during their press announcement about 18 times. So, Tony, I bow before your Twitter greatness. That was an awesome tweet. Thank you for making me laugh at work so people would look at me like I was crazy. Which they usually do anyway, so I don't know why that was really different than normal. All right, Steven, enough random yammering. Let's get into the show. What you been playing recently, sir?
More Terraria, of course. Built a new town in there, and I think it looks pretty cool.
That's the game that never ends for you, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I took another stab at the Twins, which is one of the hard mode bosses in that game. I think that was last night with my older brother. And once again, we got our asses handed to us by that boss. I mean, it's the hard mode bosses in that game are unbelievably difficult. I mean, you need 4 players. You need everybody to be really well equipped, and you have to have a really solid strategy. And if you don't, it's just going to mop the floor with you.
That's awesome. That is all sorts of awesome. I will never be that hardcore with that game, but I do enjoy it.
Yeah, I spent a good half hour this afternoon gathering together from my stockpiles wood, stone, and making wooden arrows out of those, and then using cursed flames, which fall from only from certain enemies that I have a large stockpile of, to make cursed arrows, which are supposed to have like really, to do a significant amount of damage, about the most damage of any type of arrow in the game. And just in case that didn't work, I had to make a bunch of hellfire arrows as well out of hellfire bars and wooden arrows and torches. And those are supposed to have very strong knockback. So if that knockback will work on this boss, maybe that's the solution, because the boss keeps ramming us,
Right.
and doing tons of damage. So maybe this will keep those bosses away.
So how did all your planning and an item creation and hoarding do for you, Steven?
Right now, what I have in the game is a barrel full of super powerful arrows, and I'm waiting for an opportunity where my brother is online where he wants to.
Cool.
Game.
So you're gonna
don't know yet.
You're gonna load them all up, and you're gonna be like super heavy, and you're gonna walk over, and then you're gonna get charged and turned into a pile of bloody pixels and arrows.
Yes, that's probably what's going to happen.
But it will be a cool pile of bloody pixels and arrows, so that'll be awesome.
Yes, it definitely will.
Awesome.
Also, I beat Castlevania on 3DS Virtual Console.
Very cool.
And that was nice.
Mm-hmm.
And Find Me 2, I have, I think, 3 hats left to gather. So wow. I'm almost done with that.
You're so way ahead of me.
Yeah. And Puzzle Swap. I have 603 out of 609 total puzzle pieces in that now.
Crazy.
Yeah. And I sent my fiance a 3DS
mm-hmm.
so that she can play too. And she's an artist, very talented artist, and she wrote a couple of swap notes pretty much right away, and they're amazing. So I can already tell it's gonna be awesome. She's like,
wow,
better than Nikki kind of, style. And,
she'll have to add me as a friend on 3DS so she can send me awesome art as well.
Yeah, I'll have to give her your.
She could do caricatures of us, being like ultra like Japanese, and we could have some crazy artwork for the podcast. That would be pretty cool.
That would be cool. And I downloaded and ran the 3D Mark Ice Storm, which is a benchmarking tool. They have that for PCs, Macs. Yep. Now they have it for mobile devices too.
Mm-hmm.
So I downloaded it on my from my Nexus 4, and it took forever to download for some reason, even though it wasn't that big. It was only 260 megabytes. And I ran it, and it rocked. I mean, I got a higher score than the highest ranked device on their list, and significantly higher than the Nexus 4 is supposed to get. And I think it's because I unlocked and rooted my phone, so it's not running as much of that extra stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I found out about that the tool existed for Android because I found a page online that said that the Ouya ranks 73rd.
After promising that they're going to be one of the best, fastest Android devices out there.
Yeah.
But then the Nexus comes out with quad core, and then I believe like the European versions of that have like an 8-core, which is like an octo-core version. It's just like, wow, that is stupid. And it also lights fires. You just like put it on a piece of wood, and then it just spontaneously combusts, apparently.
Oh, wow, that sounds pretty intense.
Well, actually it doesn't, but you would think it would with 8 cores. Like that's got to throw off a lot of heat. I already get like my phone gets hot in my pocket sometimes. I can't imagine what having an 8-core would do. Like I'd have the Apple logo like permanently like burnt into my leg. I think would be.
You don't already have that?
No, I don't. I don't have any sort of Apple branding on me at all, which is surprising.
It's on your shoulder. Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were going to say it was somewhere else.
No. Well, not that I can show in public anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Cool. So that's about it. I mean,
that's about it.
Doesn't seem like very much. I mean, it's only like a dozen games, Steven. I'm kind of disappointed.
No, as long as you could, I don't know if you consider Find Me 2 and Puzzle Swap and Swap Note separate games necessarily.
Right. Cool. Well, let's get into a little bit what I've been playing. Not much on my 3DS. It's been kind of sitting there doing not much, which is kind of sad. I am still playing through Luigi's Mansion. I gotta like stop playing anything else and gotta really focus and beat this game. because of a game that I'll talk about in a little bit will be coming out soon. Because I've kind of got sidetracked and I started playing like Guacamelee, and I've been playing. I started Borderlands 2 up again on my PlayStation 3, and I'm just playing all sorts of other things. And it's like, no, I must beat this game. I must focus. So I think that's what I got to do over the next little while. And of course, right after I say that, I have been playing a different game on my 3DS. I picked up a copy of Disney's Epic Mickey Power of Illusion a while ago. It was for $20. It was on sale, and I heard really bad things about it. But it's a I don't know, it's a Castle of Illusion like game on my 3DS, and I was like, I gotta own this, as bad as it is. Yeah. So I played it, and I've played kid games before because I have children, and I've played like the Dora games with my daughter.
Yeah, me too.
And I've played some Disney princess games with my daughter, and I've played the car games with my son, and some of the other kind of Toy Story. Love Toy Story 3. This game is probably more simplistic than any of those. So it's a platformer. And as you're going through the world, you find little Disney characters, and as you find them, they disappear to the safe house in this castle. And the only mechanics you have are jump, and then you can shoot blobs of ink or paint, and then every once in a while there'll be on the bottom screen, you'll see an outline of an object. You tap it, then you have to trace it, and it appears in the world. Or there's an object there, and you trace it with thinner, and it disappears. None of that is difficult. The only enemies that I've seen basically take 1 or 2 bounces to kill, and it's really simple to beat them. So essentially, it's a nothing game. And what I thought would be really cool is, as you save people, they go to your safe house, and then you can interact with them, and they give you quests, and you find objects in the world, and you bring it back, and it unlocks things or gives you power-ups. For example, you find Scrooge McDuck pretty early, and excuse me, when you interact with him in the safe house, he's like, I need my lucky dime. Can you go find it? And you're like, sure, Mr. McDuck, I can go get it for you. So the next world, I think it is, the next world you find it. So after that's complete, you go back and you talk to him, and it's like all the talking is through these like little text boxes, and they're like really terrible, and you're hitting the screen a bunch of times just to get through it. And then he gets happy. You gave him the thing, and you get an extra heart, and it's like, yay, I did something. Then he's like, well, now I can open my shop, but I need a sign. And you're like, okay, I'll go find you a sign. And it turns out that you just talk to someone else in the safe house, and they give you wood for the sign, and you go back to them. And it's just like, even the cool kind of make these people, the little rooms they're in, better is like super boring. And it's just like, oh God, this is terrible. So much so I don't know if I'm gonna finish playing it, and I feel really bad because I knew it was bad, but I was like, no, I'm gonna play this. It's only $20. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna play it, and I'm gonna beat it. I don't know if I'm gonna do that, Steven.
Yeah, I got it maybe 3 weeks to a month after launch for $20 on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, this is a bad sign that it's down 20."
Mm-hmm.
I grabbed it as an additional Christmas gift for my daughter.
Sure.
And she has had no interest in the game. I gave it a spin, and I didn't like it either. I mean, I was a big fan of Castle of Illusion on Sega Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the game. I actually still have the game, and it's still a good game.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's an awesome game.
She likes playing that game, but this one just doesn't interest her. She tried it, and she played it for a few minutes, and she found it too hard to get like up onto platforms and things. The first time she died and had to start all the way over at the beginning of the game, she was just too discouraged and didn't want to go back.
Yeah, it's I knew it was, or I knew it wasn't. It's not a good game. It's really bad. And I had the same experience with Disney's Epic Mickey 2. That was the first game that my son bought with his own money. He got money for Christmas, and he was obsessed with this game. And he's like, I want to buy it. And I'm like, that's a lot of money. He's like, no, I want to buy it. I'm like, Nick, come on. I mean, it's a lot of money for a game. If you wait, maybe you can get it for your birthday or something. He's like, no, I want to buy this. This is what I want to spend my money on. And I was like, okay, if that's just what you want. Up here in Canada, we get Boxing Day, which is the day after Christmas. There's a lot of sales. I actually found the game for $30, which was basically half price for what it was originally at on the Wii U. Picked it up. It is probably the worst game I've played on a modern console. It's framey, like it plays better on the Wii than the Wii U, which makes absolutely no sense. The camera, when you're behind Mickey and you're trying to turn, it's like snapshot, 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 snapshot of that's how like janky and really bad frame rate there is in this game. And I think that's about all we played. Like, we played maybe an hour of it, and he doesn't even want to play it anymore because it's just no fun for him, and it's hard to control, and it's annoying, and your little Oswald character that goes and does things sometimes just goes to stuff on his own, and it doesn't do anything. And yeah. I knew that was bad. and even then I bought this one for $20 and I still feel ripped off. So yeah, it's not a fun game. So anybody out there, don't let your nostalgia fool you. Wait for the port of Castle Evolution that will be coming out this year on the
Castle Evolution HD.
Yeah, which will be on, I believe, only the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. They haven't announced the Wii U yet, but I'm hoping that gets added to the list.
I'm pretty sure they announced Wii U and Steam versions as well.
Oh, did they? Okay, that must be a different press release than what I saw, or a different developer comment, because the last developer comment, the first developer comment, or the first announcement, was it's PlayStation only, and then the developer basically clarified and said, no, it's also going to be on the Xbox. I haven't seen anything since, but maybe that's been cleared up a little bit since then. If it is on the Wii U, I'll definitely buy it on the Wii U for sure.
I'm pretty sure that I said that it's on Steam as well.
Cool.
And that'll be good because that's where I would buy it, I think.
Awesome. Well, let's move on. Let's get into notable releases. This week we got a couple really good games, and one that's coming out in a few days. That one is Lego City Undercover: The Chase Begins. This is the prequel to the Wii U game that I really enjoyed. It's coming out on the 3DS. I believe it's $30 on the 3DS. It's quite affordable, and it comes out on Sunday, which is the 21st. I'm going to be picking it up on as a digital download on day one, and to check it out, so you can listen for my thoughts on that next week if you're still up in the air. Apparently some early reviews have hit. I can't remember the name of the site. It was like Nintendo Informer or something. They gave it a 6 out of 10. Which kind of worried me because of loading times and things like that. There's also some Italian Nintendo site that gave it a 75%. So I don't know how well it's going to do, but it's getting hyped like crazy. So you'd think it would be equally as good as the Wii U version. So I'm holding out my hope. Yeah, Quacko in the chat room says it's Nintendo Life. That's right. That gave it a 6 out of 10. So I don't know. I'm going to bite the bullet because I like spending my money so you guys don't have to. So if you're on the fence, let me know, or wait and I'll let you know. And then you can let me know how happy you are that I let you know, so that you didn't have to let me know that you spent your money as well.
We know, Lloyd.
Thanks. All right, moving on. Also out this week, Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner, Shin Megami Tensei, Summoner, let me start again. I'm screwing this one up.
Want me to say it?
Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner, Soul Hackers. So it's not enough anymore for games to have one colon in their title. Sometimes they need 2 colons. So
I call it the Mirror of Fate effect.
Yes, exactly. And there's many jokes, many things I could say right now, but I'm not. So you guys can be very thankful about all the nasty things I was about to say. But anyway, if you've been waiting for another Shin Megami Tensei game to play, you can now pick this one up and play it on your 3DS, which is awesome. Injustice Gods Among Us came out for the Wii U, which is the DC comic character fighting game made by ex-Mortal Kombat creators. And apparently it's getting all sorts of awesome reviews on all sorts of other consoles than the Wii U. Apparently the Wii U version is the worst version, but there's a patch coming to fix it. They didn't say what the patch was going to fix or even acknowledge that there was problems. So I'm not going to be picking that one. If I pick it up,
I assume it's going to add in the missing features.
I would hope so. something as, I don't know, basic as a lobby for the multiplayer matches so that you can chat and plan your battles and practice. It wasn't in the 3DS version. So,
Right.
Anyway, that one's out as well. And Pandora's Tower is out on the Wii, not the Wii U, the Wii. So this is a JRPG. You probably know a little bit more about it than I do, Steven.
I know that it is a fair to middling RPG that came out in Europe about 2.5 years ago. Yeah, it. I think IGN UK gave it like a 75% when it did.
I remember it being like one of those cult favorites that everybody's like, localize it, bring it out in the US.
Yeah.
It'll probably sell like 4,000 copies or something.
Yeah, I read the review and it just did not look impressive to me, and I canceled my pre-order.
I mean, it's on the Wii as well. I mean, I really don't want to buy anything else on the Wii, even like virtual console titles or anything. It just, even though I can play it on my Wii U, I have lots of Wii games and I'm happy with those. Mm-hmm. All right, so that's about it for what's coming out this week, or what has come out. Let's get into the news because we got lots of it to cover. This might be like a 7-hour epic, so we'll see what happens when we get to the end of it. So this week, Nintendo held another one of their Nintendo Directs, and they said this one's going to be on the 3DS. Did that scare you, Steven? It kind of scared me a little bit that Nintendo was going to focus more on the 3DS when they have a console that is doing so poorly in the market.
Yeah, I was worried that there wouldn't be anything in here about the Wii U, but it turned out to have quite a bit about the Wii U in it.
And some really interesting things that we're going to get to right at the end.
Definitely.
All right, so you had all the awkwardness that you can expect from a Nintendo Direct. Even more so, like, it was really awkward, man.
It needs to be subtitled.
It needs to have American people from Nintendo of America do the American version, and have all the Japanese execs do the Japanese version. It's cute that you're doing stuff, Iwata, but you shouldn't have to do all of the Nintendo Directs. It's so awkward, and I love him to death. But I
do too, and he's really charming and everything like that. But he can be very, very difficult to understand.
Yeah, have the Treehouse dude, whose name I can never remember, even though you've probably told me 500 times in different podcasts, and other people have done it as well.
Bill Trinan.
Bill Trinan. I want to say Jack Trinan, and it's like, that's not it. That's a totally different person.
He's the guy who used to work for Sony.
Exactly.
Yeah, Bill Trinan works for Treehouse, which is the localization branch over at Nintendo of America, and
he's not awkward.
Great guy.
He's a little bit awkward. I mean, he has the Nintendo awkwardness has been kind of beat into him, I guess.
Yeah, he's got this look of consternation,
and
through
he's this guy pointing his fingers forward towards the camera constantly. It's like do. It's like, okay, put your hands down beside you, duct tape them to the chair if you have to. But yeah, something like that, because just having Iwata up there just talking and bowing and making really bad jokes. Like, they had one where Luigi came out and he's like, oh, I see more Luigi, and then it's like plop, all these other Luigis appear in the thing, and then it fades out to white. It's like, really? That's like something you'd see in like Teletubbies or other kid shows, where it's just like, oh, it was terrible. But anyway, enough.
So awkward.
Enough of the awkwardness. Let's get into what they talked about. Sure. The first game is they reiterated and also said a little bit more about Mario and Luigi Dream Team. So yeah, you're basically it looks really good for one. They talked a little bit more about kind of the 3D aspects of it. They showed a really cool one where you're rolling a big ball of Luigi's, and there's one where you're kind of floating into the screen. This looks like it's going to be really fun. You're basically Mario goes to sleep, and Luigi goes to sleep, and you do stuff to him, and it changes the stuff that happens, and Mario can basically take advantage of the sleeping Luigi. I really kind of dig it. I really kind of want to play this game. What are your thoughts on it, Steven? Is this a game that you'd be picking up?
I have the first three, and I'm definitely interested in the fourth, but I've actually managed to beat the first two, and I never beat the third one, Bowser's Inside Story for DS.
You never beat that one?
No, I never beat that one.
That's
Maybe
okay.
I should
Neither
pop
did
that one in.
neither did Edgar. He hasn't beaten that one either. That was on his playing list for about 6 months.
Yeah, I got a couple of hours into it, and I think I just wasn't enjoying it quite as much as I did the previous ones. Partners in Time was an amazing game.
Oh yeah, that was
It
great.
really, really good. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to play it, but I think what I'll do is I will wait until after I beat Bowser's Inside Story before picking up the fourth one.
Sure. Yeah, it
The
looks.
price will drop because it's a Nintendo game.
You might get $5 off.
Yeah, much for an Amazon Lightning deal or something.
Yeah, exactly. It looks really good, and I mean, just the interaction between kind of the dream world and the real world looks really interesting. They announced a release date, August 11th, so it's going to be a pretty big year for the Nintendo 3DS. There was a lot of games, talking, or a lot of games announced, and a lot of release dates released. So we'll give you more of those as it goes on. They also talked about Mario Golf World Tour, which is coming to 3DS. The big news item about that they announced is that there's going to be local and online multiplayer, but it's not just like multiplayer against other American versions or Europeans fighting Europeans or Japanese fighting Japanese. It's basically a multiplayer worldwide. So you can pretty much play with pretty much anybody around the world. There's going to be ways to get into different leaderboards and different modes. They said that when you're creating matches, you could be super specific. So if you wanted to create a match that was basically only Luigi fighting, or if you could only be Luigi and you're only on one particular hole, you could be that specific for creating your tournament, and you could have people from all over the world potentially challenge them and have them compete against you. That left me kind of excited. Nintendo, they barely understand the internet as a company, and I don't believe that they've ever really wanted to have competition between territories before. This seems like a pretty big step away from the norm, which kind of excites me. Maybe not for this game. I'm going to play it, don't get me wrong, but just thinking forward to other games that might be fun to play with, I guess, a bigger pool of potential multiplayer opponents.
If you say so.
You're not a big Mario Golf fan?
No, I played I played the GameCube one for a few minutes and was unimpressed by it. That was Toadstool Tour? Was that Toadstool Tour?
I think so. That sounds about right. I've played. I think I've played all of them, like all the way back to Mario Golf on the Game Boy, like the original Nintendo Golf that had Mario as your caddy.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I had heard that one was really good.
Oh, I mean, at the time, it was like one of my favorite games. I had Mario Golf on the N64. I think I even had there was one on, I think, Game Boy or Game Boy Color. I think the Game Boy Color was maybe the first one, maybe. Or
I think that actually was where they introduced
remember.
a few characters.
Yeah.
Like Waluigi, I think, was introduced in that one, wasn't he?
I believe so. I had the Wii version. I don't know if I picked up I think there was a version on the 3D. No, on the DS. No, there wasn't. No, so the 3DS will be the next one. So, I'm a huge fan of Camelot. As a game developer, like their tennis games. I mean, they're just really good at having kind of easy, accessible sports. And I like Hot Shots Golf, and a lot of the stuff they were showing on the trailer for the new Mario Golf looks like Hot Shots, and I love Hot Shots. This will probably be a game that I'm going to pick up as a digital download so I can have it on my 3DS at all times.
Now, Camelot's the developer of Hot Shots 2, aren't they? Hot Shots as well?
Are they?
I thought they were. I could be mistaken.
They could be.
Hot Shots.
I'm going to Google it real quick while you talk. Camelot Software Planning. Did they do... I don't see. I see Mario Tennis. No, I don't see.
Sony
Oh yeah,
Computer
that's right. Everybody's Golf, Hot Shots Golf in '97. They did it for Sony. So yeah, that's weird. I guess they worked on other consoles before pretty much being only a Nintendo developer for since like the N64 on.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess they did the original one, Everybody's Golf. But yeah, it's good. They did We Love Golf. They did Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, of course, Golden Sun. And yeah, I think the last game they did was the Mario Tennis Open on the 3DS, which a lot of people really dug, which I haven't picked up. It's one of those games that I keep meaning to pick up, which I never did. So anyway, it looks really fun. I love these kinds of golf games. I'd rather play this than like the latest Tiger Woods for whatever reason. So I'm really looking forward to this one, and I'll be picking it up as a digital download.
Cool.
Next up, they talked about another 3DS game, Mario Party on the 3DS.
Oh, jeez. Another Mario Party.
Yeah, which I don't know. I have about the same feeling
Let
as
it
you.
die.
I played a lot of the GameCube version. I even played a lot of the Wii version. Gee, I don't even know. There's about 18 of them, so pick
There's
one of them.
3 on GameCube.
Roll your 3
4, 5,
dice.
and 6, yeah.
Roll your 3 dice and add up the numbers, and that's probably the version I played. So they announced that the 3DS version will be coming. It's going to have 7 boards, and they made a big deal about that. It's like, well, whatever. More annoying boards to play on that have really obscure like hazards and rules. I don't think I'm going to be picking this one up. It doesn't really excite me anymore.
No.
I've kind of grown past the Mario Party thing, probably because I don't. Sorry.
I have to say, Mario Party for DS, for Nintendo DS, was just called Mario Party DS.
Yep.
And that was actually pretty good. I've played that a couple of times multiplayer.
Can't remember if I played
cool.
it. I think my issue is I don't really have any friends that play play a 3DS. Like all of my gamer friends are Xbox players or PlayStation players or even Wii players. There's not a lot of portable gamers that I know, except a few of my friends play the Vita of all portable consoles to own. So the likelihood of me getting into a multiplayer match, Canon Shane in the chat room saying Mario Party on the 64 was the best. Yeah, I played a lot of Mario Party on the 64. It's there. 7 boards, 81 mini games coming in winter. So if that excites you, be excited because it was just announced. Let's move on though. They talked a little bit about the new Super Luigi U, which is the full game conversion that they talked about a little while ago. They've actually given it a release date of summer 2013, so probably really soon. And they've kind of given a little bit more info about it. Basically, this is going to be downloadable content for people that already own New Super Mario Brothers U. So if you own that, you'll be able to download this thing for X number of dollars, whatever that is, or maybe it's free. Who knows? They haven't announced any pricing. It's probably going to be something like $5, or given Nintendo, it's probably going to be like $8 or some other.
I think it's going to be quite a bit. I think it's going to be more than we think it should be.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm guessing somewhere between $10 and $20.
Really? You think it's going to be that much?
I think so.
Could be. The details that they gave about it, which they didn't really give before, is that it's a total total conversion, which they said that it's going to be a whole new game. But it's not just a whole new game. It's basically every stage has been redone. So the number of stages in New Super Mario U, that's the same number of stages in New Super Luigi U, which all the levels are going to be changed and modified and made different. Luigi obviously has different powers. He can jump higher. He's I don't know. They said he doesn't stop as fast, which was a big thing. They made a mention of. It's like, yeah, who cares? But basically the big thing that they said about this is that each level in the game is going to be 100 seconds long. So essentially the whole game is going to be a speed run. It's going to be similar to some of the attack modes on the 3DS version of New Super Mario Brothers. Where
this is their excuse for making the stages really, really short.
Yes, exactly. So when they said that, it's like, well, maybe it is going to be cheap. Maybe it's going to be $10. Who knows? I'm really interested to see what this price is going to be. If it's too expensive, I mean, it's going to be a flop. If it's like $5-10, I could see it's selling a fair number of copies. So it also depends how big it is. Like if it's a 7 gig download, that'll be different. I probably think it's going to be a couple hundred megs since they're just reusing assets that are already in the game. So
yeah.
Anyway, it's pretty interesting that that's like PC ways of doing things. Like you'd get Quake, and then you'd have someone that would make a total conversion mod for Quake, which would basically have the assets of the original but have some other stuff kind of baked into it. Or you'd get some of the expansion packs that would use some new things, but mainly all of the old content that was in the original game, and just make things a little different. It's like we're kind of going back in time here, which is really bizarre. And again, it's Nintendo again acknowledging that the internet exists and that people can download stuff. So that still makes me kind of feel odd when they do that. So I'm probably going to be
They're having a field day when it comes to DLC and selling games digitally, though.
Yeah, I think they realize that, hey, this is a market we didn't think it was. Let's abuse it. We'll see how abusive they get.
Let's milk this for all it's worth.
Exactly. Before we have to start making games for iOS and Android, like everybody on the forums and Twitter says we should do, let's abuse it. Let's sell as much as we can here. I doubt they'll ever do that.
Yuck.
Yeah, exactly. All right. The next thing up is they talked about Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D, which is the 3DS remake of the Nintendo Wii title. They basically said that it's going to be the original game, so everything that you could do in the original on the Wii is going to be in this version. But and that's called the classic mode. They're also adding in a kind of a mobile friendly mode, which is what did they call it? I can't remember what they called it, but essentially you get more life on your life bar. There's more items. You can hold onto barrels that have Diddy Kong in it, so that you can throw out Diddy Kong whenever you want. They're adding in co-op play for local wireless, not online, so you can take on bosses together and stuff like that. So they're not just porting over the Wii version. They're actually taking some time to change it and make it more mobile friendly. Or if you like the original, you can play the full original version and have fun with that as well. So I'm pretty interested on this one. I already own the Wii version, so I'm not going to jump right out and pick it up, I don't think. It comes out on May 24th, which is the day before my birthday, so maybe it'll be a birthday present from someone in my family. Who knows? But yeah, that's interesting. Some more information about this one. I'm sure they're going to sell a few copies of this because people do like Donkey Kong Country.
I think so too.
Yep. They dropped a bomb after that one. They announced that there's going to be a Yoshi's Island game on the 3DS. Didn't really have much to say about it. They basically showed baby Mario riding a Yoshi, throwing eggs, and that was pretty much it. Did you catch any secret images or anything in that announcement, Steven?
No, I didn't see anything of interest in it at all. I didn't play either of the other games in the series.
Oh, dude,
so
you gotta go back.
Care.
You gotta go back. They're really, really good. Some of the best platformers. Especially
I have one on the I have the Super NES one on my 3DS Virtual Console for the Ambassador program.
That's probably the best one. That one was so much fun. A lot of fun to play. I think I ended up buying another copy of that one off of eBay way back in the day. So I think I still have a cartridge of that kicking around. I'll have to see if I can dig it out. But yeah, a lot of fun. It'll be fun to see what this one turns into. Hopefully the fact that they're coming out with Yoshi's Island on the 3DS means that maybe a Wii U version will be coming out, which has been rumored that there's a Yoshi Wii U. When the Wii U first launched, there was a bunch of hidden modes that people were finding on the Miiverse, and one of the hidden modes showed other Miiverse I guess channels that weren't open yet, and one of them was Yoshi Wii U. So hopefully that means that a Yoshi Island Wii U version will be coming out as well. But either way,
I assumed it was the one they already showed, the Yoshi game they already showed for Wii U.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's the Yarn one that they just showed. That's right. So yeah, we won't be unfortunately getting a Yoshi's Island, I don't think, which is kind of depressing. I forgot about that Yarn one. Huh.
Although it may have been referring to this game too, because there were other games on that list that turned out to be 3DS games.
That could be. Maybe that's
like the Shin Megami Tensei was leaked on there too.
Yeah, maybe that means that E3 they'll be talking about Miiverse integration will actually be coming on the 3DS. They've rumored it for a while, but maybe that's actually going to happen. That'd be kind of cool. So yeah, that'll be coming. That was about all the information that they let go. So we can't really talk much more about it. There was a few screens, and it was pastel-y, and it looked like it was colored by hand with crayons. And there was Yoshi and Baby Mario crying, and he laid eggs. So yeah, that's the game.
That is what we expect from a Yoshi game.
Exactly. So that'll be coming. Hopefully E3 will have more info about that. They covered a little bit more about Mario and Donkey Kong Minis on the Move. That's that downloadable puzzle game where you're setting tiles for the little minis to march along. Not super excited about that. They gave a release date May 9th, so that's coming up really soon. So if you're interested in that, I don't believe either of us are, so I don't know.
No.
Maybe we'll talk about it in the future, but it's coming out May 9th. So if you're looking forward to that one, it's coming really soon. Next, they talked about some Wii U stuff. First one is the big Wii U system update, which basically speeds load times and does some other things. That's the one that we talked about a couple episodes ago, and Steven mentioned that games would going from a game back to the main menu was like 8 times as fast. That'll be coming the week of the 22nd. So next week, you'll be able to download that and have your Wii U be super fast when you come back from games that you're not playing on it. Because there's nothing out really to play on. Hopefully we get some games along with that.
The next day we will.
yeah, exactly. Some other things that they said this update will do is it gives you the ability to copy games back and forth between USB drives, which I read on the forums was a huge problem. Some people would buy like an 80 gig, or they'd hook up some old USB hard drive, and then they'd realize that they ran out of space, or that they wanted a different one, or that they wanted one that was quieter, and they would basically have to then put a new hard drive, connect it to it, and then re-download all the stuff. This will make that not needed, because you can just copy files from one to another. Of course, they're still locked to your system, so you can't just go to your friend's house and copy all his games and bring them to your Wii U, but it's going to make moving data between one drive and another that much quicker. It's going to allow for the auto installation of downloaded software while you're playing a game. So instead of starting a download, then jumping into a game, and then getting a little pop-up saying, one file is ready to install, and then having to watch it install for 35 minutes because the install process is so slow. Why is it so slow? I don't understand.
I don't know either.
I can't remember what game it was I downloaded, but it took longer to install than it did to download. It was just like, really? This is a thing? I don't get it. Anyway, this is going to.
You were saying that about Zombie U. I'm not sure.
No, because I didn't download Zombie U.
No? Okay.
I downloaded the update for Zombie U, and yeah, that took a long time. But what was it? There was a downloadable title. Was it maybe Mighty Switch Force? It came down really fast, but the install was longer than the download. It was crazy. Anyway, you'll now be able to install the software automatically while you're downloading it, which is pretty cool. Your system's going to be more always online, kind of like the Wii was way back in the day. So you'll be able to auto install, auto receive updates and things, which is pretty cool. You can now hold down the B button while turning on your Wii U to go directly into Wii mode. I know you were kind of cheering for that one, Steven.
Yep, because there's no Wii U software out yet, so since I'm using it as a Wii, I might as well be able to go directly into that mode.
Exactly. And yeah, they announced that the standby function will go and download stuff and install while your Wii U is off. So that's cool as well. So if there's any system updates or patches and other things, they can just auto download when you're not doing anything. I enjoy that right now on my PlayStation because I have PlayStation Plus, and that's one of the features that you get when you're a PlayStation Plus member. It'll just start
it's a premium service, and Nintendo's giving it away.
Exactly, which is kind of nice as well. So look forward to that next week. It's going to be a huge week for that. But not only for that, Nintendo also announced that the Virtual Console is launching the next day. After the update hits, the next day you'll be able to download all of the games that you've probably already downloaded for 30 cents, plus a few other ones.
Yes.
They said Game Boy Advance and N64 will be coming in the future. And they also reiterated that if you already own a game on your Wii that you've transferred from your Wii to your Wii U, you'll be able to buy the upgraded version of it for less. They didn't touch again what happens if I didn't have a specific game on my Wii, so I couldn't transfer it over to my Wii U, what happens then? Like, as I've said previously, I've owned 3 Wiis and I've bought Virtual Console titles on all 3 of them that show up on my Club Nintendo account, but I can't re-download them on my newest Wii, the one that is still working. So I'm hoping that I would just be able to hit one button and then rebuy all the Zeldas, all of the Marios, all of the other games, SimCity for the Super Nintendo, all those games that I loved and wanted to play, but now I can't because the Wii died and I couldn't get the data off of it.
You need to call Nintendo.
Yeah, maybe.
Give them the serial numbers and let them do that.
I don't
let them get all that set up.
Sure. Maybe I'll do that. I just don't see why you have to when they're already showing up in your Club Nintendo account. Nintendo knows that you own them.
Nintendo.
Damn you, Nintendo.
They did so many things in a stupid way.
Yeah.
With the Wii. And they appear to be learning from that and fixing things with the Wii U, and relatively quickly.
Yeah.
It really looks very much to me like the PS3's development, you know what I mean, where it launched broken.
Sure.
And just over time, they kept fixing things and putting things in, and eventually it got better than the Xbox 360.
Exactly. They're quickly iterating on all the stuff. Yeah, I really hope so. Like, I have all these, like, at one point in time, I wanted to download a whole bunch of Virtual Console titles and do reviews back when Wii Spot used to be a website, not just a podcast, and we're doing reviews and things like that.
With a very funny name.
With a funny name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. Yeah, we made lots of pee jokes way back in the day when the Wii first launched.
We sure did.
But yeah, so I have all this stuff that I can't download anymore. Yeah, maybe I should contact Nintendo and see if there's anything they can do. They'll probably say no.
What they'll probably do is they'll take down the serial numbers, they'll remotely deactivate those Wiis, and they will credit you the purchase price of all those items on your Wii Shop channel within your Wii U account.
Sure.
I've heard of them doing this for people before. So
that would be cool. I know that I don't think SimCity is still available on the Wii, so some games will just be lost forever that I can no longer play, which is a shame. But anyway, yeah. So that was kind of the rat hole version of Virtual Console will be coming to the Wii next week. So what did they say? They showed, you put in the notes, Donkey Kong, Excite Bike, Ice Climbers, Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, Balloon Fight, and Punch-Out! And for the Super Nintendo, Kirby Superstar, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, and F-Zero. Yeah, so other stuff will be coming in the future. Pretty much, I would say pretty much everything that launched on the Wii will probably eventually make its way over to the Wii U. Hopefully that means that in the future there'll be a shared library, so you can maybe download the game. Like I can download Super Mario Brothers, and it will show up in my account, and then I could download it on my Wii U and then on my 3DS. That is like the future that Nintendo has to do. Make it like iTunes, so you buy something and it's playable on multiple devices. So hopefully that will be coming. They didn't announce that, obviously, but my fingers are crossed that that is in the plans for the Nintendo eShop. It'd be nice.
We can hope.
Yep. They also announced something called Wii U Panorama View. They're going to be giving you a free demo, and basically it's videos that you can buy for. You're putting in here $2 each. They announced the price. I didn't see the price.
They said it in the video. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's even worse.
Videos will be $2 each.
And it's a panoramic video that you can buy of people touring different locations. They had this riding in a carriage with like a geisha girl in Japan around someplace.
Strange.
And it's just like, why would I want to pay $2 to watch that? It's weird, but it's panoramic and you can spin around with your gamepad and look wherever you want. It's so bizarre, man. Oh,
it is. They showed that at the Wii U, like when they were announcing the Wii U. I remember they showed this, and they showed that same, flying over Italy video with the geese.
Yeah.
And even at that time, I was like, what the heck is this? And they made it pretty clear at the time that they would be charging for these videos. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. They're going to sell this?
Yeah, they'll sell 3.
Yeah.
And people will try it out and say, oh, yep, that's a panoramic video that I paid $2 for. I feel ripped off.
Yeah, it's going to tank. It has to tank. It's just such a dumb idea.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, on to more exciting things. They showed off Pikmin 3. The big announcement for Pikmin 3 is that there's a new Pikmin. There's a winged Pikmin. It's pink and it flies and it's awesome. Steven, you have some mixed feelings about that.
I cared about the Pikmin brand in 2005 when Pikmin 2 came out, and I think I would have been up for Pikmin 3 in 2007 or 2008.
Yeah, on the Wii when they said it was coming, which it never did.
Years and years and years of waiting for it later. I have used up any interest that I had in playing any more Pikmin.
Yeah.
I think I'm done. I see nothing in any of the videos or data about this game that that makes me want to own this.
Really? I don't know. I played Pikmin 1. I loved it.
Yeah, me too.
But I didn't buy it. I rented it. So I rented it a bunch of times. So loved it. I never did play the second one. It was always one that I meant to buy but never did. And then when I saw Pikmin 3 announced like 27 years ago, I was like, yeah, that's going to be awesome. And then it never actually shipped on the Wii. And then it didn't ship as a launch title for the Wii U. So they're quickly losing kind of the PR buzz around this title.
Definitely.
You put in here that they tweeted after the show, I must have missed this one, that Pikmin 3 has actually been delayed. So it's coming out even later. It's coming out in August, on August 4th, because typical Nintendo, they space out all their releases, even though the game's probably done and sitting in a warehouse somewhere. We won't be able to play it till August 4th. So, yeah, Pikmin.
Yeah.
Pikmin 3 coming out August 4th. So, and you can throw a Pikmin that then will fly. And it is cute and pink and has wings. So my daughter will really love that. She loves pink things, so she'll love playing with those ones.
Yeah, you know, my daughter probably would too. Yeah. She likes pink things. She likes things with wings. So
it's for the bronies. It's the brony coat of paint they're putting over this game to get all those all the brony dollars from out there.
Pikmin ponies.
Yeah, it'll be
Pikmin
awesome.
pie. It'll be called.
Awesome. All right. And then they dropped what is probably the biggest megatonne Nintendo's dropped in a while. And that is the fact that they are finally doing what they said they never would do. They're bringing Earthbound back to North America, and they're releasing it on the Wii U Virtual Console in US and Europe. So, yeah, we've asked for it, and it's coming, which is great. As you were saying after the event, Steven, you could probably buy a Wii U and the digital copy of Earthbound for less than it costs to buy a real copy of Earthbound to play on your Super Nintendo, which is absolutely same. So it's just crazy and funny, and it makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Maybe if this sells well,
it's close to $800 to get a complete in-box copy of Earthbound right now, or at least it was before this announcement. I don't know if the prices come down.
And it's so funny. I used to work at a pharmacy, and in the pharmacy there was a sports card shop, and I worked there and did all this stuff. And like 3 units down in the strip mall, there was a video place. And just before they got out of games, they had 4 copies of Earthbound sitting behind the register, kind of on the shelf. They were like complete inbox sealed, and they were blowing them out. I think they were looking for like $15 or $20 for them, complete inbox, because they were the big boxed versions or whatever. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, I should buy all these. It would be cool just to have these. And I didn't, and I really wish I would, because I could have paid for my kids' like college tuition just by having these things. It's
drip them out onto eBay one at a time.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, I probably would have gotten rid of them a long time ago. But if I would have bought them and then forgot about them and then just realized that I had them now, I'd be a rich man.
Oh, that game's worth something. Send 1 copy to each of your friends and then sell the rest.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so crazy.
So
I guess the big excitement over Earthbound coming is that it sells 1 million copies, and then Nintendo is forced to finally localize Mother 3 and bring that to North America, probably on the Virtual Console. That would be
like Mother 1. The other one is that like Mother 1 for Famicom was completely localized into English and then never released in the US.
Yeah, that Nintendo did weird things way back in the day. I don't understand that. Like, if you spent the money, like, just release it. If it doesn't sell well then don't press more copies. Like, don't burn more ROMs and put them in boxes.
And now they have this digital distribution thing. They could drop Mother 1 in English on the Virtual Console, and maybe they will if Earthbound sells well.
Exactly. So anyway, Earthbound will be coming finally. So if you've never played it, or if you played it a long time ago and it's one of your favorite games, you'll now be able to buy it on the Wii U. And shortly after the presser, I posted a tweet and I said, I think Nintendo might troll its fans and release it on the Virtual Console for $20. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what the price point is. It wouldn't surprise me. All right, Game & Wario Wii U. The only new news about it is that it's coming out for like $30 or something. Like did they talk about the price, or was that an item I saw after it? I can't remember. I kind of went to sleep.
They mentioned the price during.
I kind of went to sleep after it, so I'm kind of done with the Game and Wario. But it is coming to the Wii U. They showed some other stuff off. It looks kind of cool. What is this?
Monster Hunter Tri
Ultimate. Oh yeah, that's right. They talked about the Get Started stuff that Capcom's put together. So on their YouTube channel, there's a bunch of videos available. And then, as you put in the notes, the patch just hit this week that allows you to finally have off-screen play on the game. So if you wanted to play Monster Hunter only on your Wii U gamepad, you can now do that as of this week, which is pretty cool.
It is cool.
They covered Lego City Undercover coming out this Sunday, as we said already. It looks really good. They showed some new videos which I hadn't seen, which they've since been released as kind of extended trailers, little bits. It looks really, really good. Unfortunately, the review that I read said it has really long load times, so I'm hoping that by buying the digital version, I'll combat some of that. But yeah, that one's coming out on Sunday, which is pretty cool. They talked about Animal Crossing New Leaf. But even more than that, they announced that really awesome looking, I think it's awesome, Steven doesn't, 3DS, the white 3DS with all the New Leaf kind of things. It looks almost like a Louis Vuitton kind of pattern on the 3DS. The bundle will be coming to North America pre-installed with a pre-installed version of the game bundled in. $220 coming out on June 9th, which is the same date as the game. So if you want a really cool looking 3DS or a ugly looking 3DS, depending on which side of the fence you fall on, you can do that. It's a 3DS XL, which is pretty cool. One of the people that I know here in town, or one of the people that I know digitally here in town, I don't think I've ever met her, basically has been calling around trying to put a pre-order on this, because you can pre-order it at GameStop.com and maybe other places. It doesn't appear that there's any place in Canada yet that you can do a pre-order. It makes me wonder if this is not coming to Canada. Maybe this is a US only release, which would make me really sad. Not because I'm going to buy one, but I know a lot of people would really love one, because we don't get many special edition 3DSs here in North America.
Yeah.
Which looks really cool. And also, kind of on the same day, they announced that a really cool Luigi 3DS is coming to Japan that has like all these like silhouettes of Luigi all over it, and it's like, gee,
yeah, I saw that one. It's kind of cute.
It's like you announce one great one coming to North America, and then you're like, well, look at this even better one that's coming to Japan. So suck it, suck it, America, you suck. Japan, or whatever they do over there. I don't know what their chant is for their country, like USA. I don't know what they do over there. So anyway, if you want a really awesome looking 3DS or not, you can finally do it or not on June 9th for $220. Next up, they announced that Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons will be coming to the 3DS Virtual Console on May 30th. So finally giving a release date for the games that they've already announced exist, and that will be coming, which is cool. Bravely Default Flying Fairy is coming in 2014. So Steven, you know more about that than I do. You called it indeed. In fact, you said that this was coming, and it did.
Yes.
You know
it's,
Nintendo.
A spiritual successor of sorts to the Final Fantasy IV Heroes of Light game for the Nintendo DS. Do you remember that one?
Right. Yes.
Yeah, it's got I think it's a Yoshika Amano arts design to it. It looks amazing. It is just visually stunning, and the gameplay in it looks really, really cool. And it looks like it's a much more polished and detailed game than Four Warriors of Light was. which was a really interesting game. I played a good number of hours into that game before stopping, and I don't recall why. I think I got stuck. But yeah, yeah. I'm surprised they didn't change the name. That they haven't decided on a different name because the name is really awkward. The name is based around the fighting system. You have two different settings in battle. You can choose between brave or default. These are the fighting systems, and they talked about it a little bit in the video in a different way. But like, the idea is that you can choose to take an offensive stance or more of a defensive stance. And if you take a defensive stance, you could build up power and then hit harder later. So it's about the battles are supposed to be pretty strategic that way. But I'm very excited about it because I've wanted this game to come out here since they announced it in Japan. But it looks pretty slick, and I was worried it was never going to come here, but I'm glad it did.
Yeah, that's cool. That'll be coming out soon. They talked about another game which people didn't think would be coming here in North America, and that is Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy will be coming in 2014. Like, Japan has about 73 Professor Layton games, and we have like 3 of them, which is really bizarre. But
someone I know on Twitter was saying that if they do this, then they're skipping one.
Yeah, they're skipping number 5, and they're coming out with number 6. And I think we only have 3 of the 4 that have been announced. Like, it's just so weird. Like, I don't know. I don't understand Nintendo. Like, release a game and release it in Japan and release it in America at the same time. If you're planning on bringing it to the US, release it at the same time so that you don't get into this craziness. Like, they had I think 3 Professor Laytons on the DS, I believe, or 4 on the DS, and we got 2 on the DS and then 1 on the 3DS, which was actually a DS game that was ported up. Like, it's so confusing. I can't even keep it all straight. But at least we're getting another one, and I think this was the last actual Professor Layton game that was released with the Professor Layton as we know it. So who knows if any ones are going to be coming out. I know there was that wasn't there a crossover with Layton and
Ace Attorney
and Ace Attorney, so there's that. But yeah, it's bizarre. I don't get it. So anyway, Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy will be coming in 2014, so look forward to that. Then they talked about some other weirder kind of stuff. The Level 5 Guild series, which was basically Level 5 produced a series of smaller games, and they released them in Japan under the Guild designation, similar to kind of like the Bit Trip or not the Bit Trip. There was the other one that was on the Wii. They had all those virtual consoles, or those WiiWare titles you could download. Anyway, it was just kind of like this experimental kind of thing. So they had the Starship Damray adventure game, Bugs vs. Tanks action game, Attack of the Friday Monsters, a Tokyo Tale fantasy game. All these like really weird, very Japanese games will be coming to North America under the Level 5 Guild series. So they haven't said when exactly and how much, but it looks like these will be coming out sometime in the future, which
eventually
is kind of neat. It's always neat to get these like really odd Japanese titles that normally don't make it over here, but do well over there. I always like checking them out because they usually have like gameplay that you normally don't see from a North American developed game. So I really like.
The last one looks really cool.
Yeah,
Attack of the Friday Monsters of Tokyo Tale.
Yeah, I like that one, but I also like Bugs versus Tanks. Like, it's literally you're in a tank that gets shrunk down to really tiny size, and you actually go and hunt bugs, and that's the game. And it's like, hey, that's kind of cool. And it's by like KJ Inafune, and it's like, hey, this is awesome. This is a game that I could play, and now I can on my Wii U. Well, I will be able to at some point.
Now, was Inafune involved in Lost Planet?
Yes.
Wasn't Lost Planet a game where you took some heavy artillery and went and killed bugs?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
But I don't think in Bugs vs. Tanks you have a grappling hook, and I don't think you're walking around in deep snow either. But
probably not.
Yeah. But anyway, these are kind of like little game appetizers that I guess they put out, just little mini ones. More like say iOS apps, like smaller little ideas that they made a small game and then sold them in Japan. It'd be cool to get them over here. Next up, almost last but not quite, they announced that Shin Megami Tensei 4 will be coming to Wii U. and they announced a whole bunch of special edition stuff.
Yeah, it is Wii U.
And it will be coming out on July 16th, so that's pretty soon as well.
Actually, is it Wii U or is that a 3DS game?
I think it's a Wii U, because the Shin Megami Tensei just came to to 3DS. They here, let's see. Atlas is giving the deluxe treatment to Shin Megami Tensei. You can go on to the next one, and I'll let you know.
Okay. The last one was a stilted, difficult, clumsy Reggie joint. He came out and talked about how Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past for Super NES is his favorite ever. I don't know if he was saying it was his favorite game or his favorite Zelda game.
Oh, it is 3DS. Sorry, I misspoke. It is coming to 3DS. So we're going to have 2 3DS Shin Megami Tensei games in like a period of a couple months.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's weird, but cool.
And he announced and showed footage of a sequel to Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. They have only been referring to it as The Legend of Zelda in the US, but in Japan they are just directly referring to it by the Japanese title of the original game, which was Triforce of the Gods, with a number 2 after it. So it appears that it is actually a sequel to The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Yeah, and they had a little media availability right after the Nintendo Direct, and they basically said, yeah, that this takes place after the original game, and it is a sequel. There is stuff that happened in the game that will be in the first game that will be referenced in this game.
Cool.
Very cool.
It looks amazing.
And what they've done is the original game was obviously it was an 8-bit sprite-based tile game. They've taken that and they've turned it into a 3D game that still looks the same way. So it still looks like you're in the sprite-based world, but you're in a 3D. You're basically a 3D object running around a 3D world, which looks pretty cool. And they announced a really cool new mechanic. So you don't just have your Master Sword. You're not just swinging around and throwing pots and stuff at people. When you get up to a wall, you can basically become a drawing, and then the camera switches to you on the wall, and you can basically move along different walls as a drawing and then appear. So you can get through walls. If there's a window, you can crawl through the window as a drawing and then appear in the other room. Which they said that, and I was just like, what? That makes absolutely no sense. And then they showed a little animation of it. And I'm like, damn, that looks cool. I kind of want this right now.
And he looks, when Link does it, he looks just like the drawing of Link from the beginning of was it in beginning Wind Waker they showed that drawing?
Yeah. Which is just like cave drawing Link.
Exactly. Like hieroglyphics kind of a thing.
Yeah, it looks so cool. Really cool. And I'm like, damn, this looks so good. I can't wait. I guess we'll be able to play this in a couple years. And then they're like, nope, it's available holiday 2013. It's like, what? That's like 7-8 months away, 6 months away.
It's nuts.
But sure enough, we're getting a sequel to probably one of the best games ever made. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past 2, or whatever they decide to call it, and it'll be coming this year.
Until they announce the first delay.
Yeah, and
which
then
will push it back a full year because every Zelda game comes out at least a year late.
Yeah, it'll actually ship with Pikmin 3. It'll be like a pack-in with Pikmin 3. So in 2017, it'll be coming out.
Right.
After the event, they said that there's going to be a 3D video of the game available on the eShop. So you can go download it right now, and it shows off kind of the 3D stuff that they show in the game, shows off some of the mechanics, some of the new stuff, but it also shows that, yes, this is indeed the Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past world, because people have taken screenshots from the original Super Nintendo game and screenshots from the 3DS game and overlaid them, and it's the same map essentially that you're walking around. It's just redone in 3D. So this is so awesome. It is. People get on Nintendo for remaking and remaking and remaking and remaking. They can remake this game or give sequels as many times as they want. I had so much fun with the original Link to the Past. Like, I played this game so many times, beat it so many times. I love the world. It'll be kind of cool to play it again and kind of know your way around the game, even though you've never played this game, but you have, because it's the same world that you're going to be exploring. This is where Nintendo really shines, taking something that's truly beloved and then kind of just tweaking it a little bit and releasing it with enough changes that it feels like a new game. But this is actually a new game, so it's not just something that's going to feel like a new game. It's a new game totally, just in the same world. So between this and the Wind Waker that's coming out on the Wii U, I'm going to be in Zelda heaven this year, playing two redone versions or new versions of an old game that I really, really, truly love. It's going to be great to be a Zelda fan on a Nintendo console this year.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Awesome. And that was about it. It was one hell of a long and packed Nintendo Direct, and there's also rumors that within the next week or two there's going to be a Wii U Nintendo Direct coming. So it's not E3 yet, people. E3's coming, and Nintendo's releasing all this great stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a big year for Nintendo, I think. They're hitting all of the notes that they have to hit to keep people hyped about their platform, at least on the 3DS side. They still have a lot of work to do on the Wii U, and hopefully they can do some of that with the next Nintendo Direct, and hopefully they blow everybody out of the water at E3 and just prove to people why they should be buying this instead of the PlayStation 4 or Xbox 720 when that comes later this year. I mean, they're going to be awesome looking graphic powerhouses, and now you have the Wii U, which is essentially the same console that you can buy right now on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox. They're going to have to do a lot to kind of...
Except those have software libraries.
That too, yeah. Those have software libraries, which is a thing. I think people like to play games on the consoles they buy to play games. Is that really what happens in the market?
I've read about that on the intertubes.
Interesting.
But I'm not sure.
I will do some research and get back to you next week. So yeah, they have a lot of work to do with the Wii U, so we'll see what happens with that. Yeah. All right, so that's it for Nintendo Direct. A couple other Nintendo news items popped up this week. We don't want to spend too much more time because we've been talking for a long time. But Nintendo PR sent out a note, I believe today, really kind of reinforcing the fact that they have sold a lot of physical copies of 3DS games. I think a lot of retailers are really kind of nervous with Nintendo and all of their digital download stuff because Nintendo's been trumpeting how well Fire Emblem did on digital downloads, that a third of the total downloads came digitally, and people that buy digitally are more inclined to buy the DLC. They're like, yay digital download, direct stuff from us, yay. And then they're like, oh, by the way, we did sell 20 million physical copies of Nintendo 3DS games since the 3DS launched. Which is a big number. That
is a big number.
They basically broke it down a little bit more. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, 365,000 physical units in March, which is pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah, that is a lot. And in total, when you factor in the digital units, that's 415,000 units, which is pretty good for a Luigi game. Fire Emblem Awakening has now sold more than 240,000 combined units in to date from when it launched. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gates to Infinity sold 145,000 combined physical and digital. And they're saying that sales of Nintendo 3DS software at retail increased by 50% over March 2012. So in a year, they're selling 50% more than they did a year ago. So... Wow. That's good. And then, of course, they trumpet things that are coming out. And that momentum should only grow in the next few months. Nintendo prepares a massive slate of blah, 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 including Lego City Undercover, The Chase Begins, Donkey Kong Country, Animal Crossing New Leaf. And they just talk about all the other games that are coming out. So Nintendo's selling a lot of games. And again, like I've said this before, but the 3DS is kind of the best console out there these days. Like, there's so much stuff coming out. Like if you only had a 3DS and you didn't have a Wii U, you didn't have a 3DS or a PS3 rather, you didn't have an Xbox, you'd still be able to just play as many games as you want because there's a lot of really great quality software coming each and every month, which is pretty cool. You have a 3DS XL, don't you, Steven?
I do.
Do you want to put about 7 pounds of plastic and connect it to the bottom side of your 3DS XL?
Sure, why not?
Well, you can now. Obviously, it's not that heavy, but Nintendo has announced that they're selling, or they're pre-ordering rather, the 3DS XL Circle Pad Pro. So you've been able to get the Circle Pad Pro in the US at GameStop or direct from Nintendo. Now you can pre-order the 3DS Circle Pad Pro. They're going to start shipping on the 19th, which is tomorrow. So if you pre-order now, they'll start shipping soon. And it's $20. So if you want 2 Circle Pads on your big gaming handheld to make it even bigger, you can do that. I don't know if I'm going to buy a Circle Pad Pro for my 3DS XL. I bought it for my 3DS, and I used it twice.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. The only game I own that has any support for it is Kid Icarus Uprising, and
that's
I honestly haven't touched that game in a while.
Well, the stupid thing about Kid Icarus Uprising is a Circle Pad Pro is only used when you play left-handed mode. So you can't actually... Oh,
seriously?
Yeah, you can't use it for the camera. You still have to use the stylus, but now you can move with the Circle Pad Pro with your right hand and then use the stylus with your left hand.
Yeah, forget it.
Yeah.
I have no reason to buy one.
It's so dumb. It is so dumb. So
I've heard it's good for Resident Evil. Evil. What's that game called?
Uprising. Is that what it was called?
No.
Revelations.
Yeah.
That's the only way to play Revelations, to be honest. I played it without, and then I got the Circle Pad Pro, and I'm like, okay, I don't know why I tried to play it without, but even then, I don't think, like, I don't hear of new games coming out that support it because it's a peripheral. If Nintendo wanted people to play it, they should have included it in the box.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Yep. All right, let's get into our last story. This one's a little bit sad. There's a bunch of Wii channels that are finally being turned off. So, Steven, you know how the Wii used to wake you up at 3 a.m. with a flashing blue light when you got your new updates and messages and other great things?
No, because mine's in my living room.
Oh, you didn't have it on your bedside table? You didn't sleep. You didn't sleep with your Wii. You didn't like tuck it in with you when you went to bed?
No, it's in the bedroom now, but they haven't lit that light up in a really long time.
Yeah, well, they won't be anymore. That service has now been shut off. So even though they haven't sent any messages through it, they're now taking time to tell people that they've shut it off, which is kind of stupid. But anyway, moving on. Other channels that are going off are the Weather Channel, the News Channel. I believe the what was the name of that channel where you could compete with answering trivia? The Wii Votes channel, like all the channels that no one uses anymore, but were kind of vaguely interesting at the time. The servers that support those are being turned off. So if you have a Wii U, you probably don't have any of those channels anyway because none of them were moved over. So all that stuff is everybody votes. That's right. Thanks, Jay Carguth. You're right up on the ball there in the chat room. Thank you. All that stuff is going offline. So your Wii, you know the really crappy black and red one that doesn't have online capability?
The Wii Junior.
The Wii the Fisher Price Wii, the
Wii Minus.
The Wii Minus, yes. Yes. The Wii Spot, because it's a puddle of junk. That is pretty much going to be okay now because there's going to be no online services in the near future that you can be able to take advantage of. So yeah, the Wii is slowly dying a slow and painful death. But that's okay because the Wii U is taking over and doing so many wonderful things. Cough.
It is.
Cough.
It's
cough,
there's so many
choke,
games and
choke, cough. We bug because we love.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
We love the potential. We're assuming there's all kinds of potential there.
I really hope there is some potential.
Oh my God, there's no kinetic. There has to be all potential.
I hope so. All right, well, Steven, that's a hefty amount of news that we just rattled through over the last hour and a bit.
Yeah, hour and a half or so.
Yeah. So thanks everybody for staying subscribed and joining us. Let's put on some music. We'll do Donkey Kong Country.
Oh, good. That's good because that game's coming up soon.
Exactly. Timely stuff I have here on my soundboard.
Next show we got to have some Earthbound music.
Yeah, I'll have to find some. That'd be great. We love hearing from you guys. I love all the feedback that you guys have been sending me through email, on the forums, or through Twitter. Keep that up. I'm Dasby on Twitter. Steven is at Steven J. Munn on Twitter. You can reach us at vgpodcast.com or email us directly at vgpodcast@gmail.com if you want to email us. Call our voicemail line, area code 505 VG Podcasts. But until next time, have fun with your Wii U. Hopefully some games come for it in the near future. We'll talk to you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.